Welcome to Whitestone Counseling, where faith and professional counseling come together. For over 25 years, we have had the privilege of walking alongside individuals and couples and families, and even partnering with local churches to bring hope and healing and restoration through Christ-centered care. At Whitestone, we don't believe that healing is just about managing symptoms. We believe it's about tending to the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. We offer a distinctively Christian approach to professional counseling. It's grounded in clinical experience and, of course, biblical wisdom. My name is John Noto. I'm one of the directors here. And in this short video, we're going to take a closer look at anxiety, what it is, what it isn't, what you can do if it's something you're struggling with, or if you're supporting somebody who's struggling with it. So before we begin, just a quick note. This video is for educational and awareness purposes only. It's not a substitute for counseling. If you're finding it hard to cope, we strongly encourage you to reach out and get the support that you need. Education paired with the right care is a powerful combination in healing. So let's jump in. What is anxiety? When God made you, he gave you an incredible gift, your brain. It is an actual supercomputer constantly scanning your environment, processing memories, solving problems. It's trying to protect you. Some of this happens consciously, of course, but a lot of it doesn't. You don't always get to pick what your brain is thinking about or what problems it's working on. That's why you might be in the shower someday and suddenly remember something embarrassing from 20 years ago. Or you might start worrying about a conversation that hasn't even happened yet or might never happen. Your brain is working hard behind the scenes to try to prepare you for any possible outcome. This is part of God's design. Anxiety all by itself is not a flaw. It's part of our built-in response system. And a moderate amount of it can actually be quite productive. Think of yourself the week of finals. You're studying a lot more than a typical week. You've got a lot more energy to provide. It's because a little bit of apprehension gets you there. But surely it can get out of balance. When anxiety becomes constant or overwhelming, or it starts interfering with things like sleep or appetite, or your focus, or your ability to enjoy the things around you and connect with people, that means something bigger might be going on. Anxiety can show up emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. You might feel tense or distracted or distant from God or the people around you. You might feel stuck in the past or worried about the future. You might have so much worry that you're not in the here and now, not in the present moment. And while some anxiety, of course, is tied to clear life stressors, like a strained relationship or a health scare or something like that, sometimes it shows up without a clear cause. Either way, it's useful to understand that so you can understand yourself. If any of this sounds familiar, I just want to say to you, you're not alone. There's help available. This is something that's actually pretty common that people suffer from. But here's where we get caught up. Many of us set really, really high expectations for ourselves. We think we should be able to just push through it or handle it or fix it or ignore it. And in doing that, we often suffer a whole lot more than we need to. So let's take a moment to look at anxiety and what it is not. I want to clear up some common misconceptions. First, anxiety is not a character flaw. It's not a sign of weakness or that you're broken or somehow failing emotionally or spiritually. And certainly, it's not a lack of faith. The Bible is full of people who wrestle with deep fear and anguish and distress. David pours out his anxiety in the Psalms. Elijah, after seeing God do great work in miraculous ways, still hit a point where he felt so overwhelmed, he wanted to give up and he ran away. These were faithful people, not faithless ones. So if you find yourself anxious, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. You don't need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. Honestly, the fact that we suffer from this in our day and age is not even that surprising. God gave you this brilliant and complex brain, and we live in a brilliant and complex world, but it's a fallen world. And this immense processing power can absolutely go into overdrive. It's like having a car with a high performance engine that's stuck in traffic. And when we rev it too high, it starts overheating. It's not that the car needs a different engine. It just needs to be managed differently. So anxiety is also something you don't choose. No one wakes up and says, hey, I'd like to be consumed by worry today. It's not a moral failure. It's not a lack of effort. If we're just as simple as pray more or just be stronger, then no one would struggle with anxiety. It's not about toughness, but actually it's about getting care and support, which for a lot of us is an even tougher ask. But one of the biggest lies that anxiety tells us is that we have to deal with it alone. And that's simply not true. Isolation, silence, keeping secrets on purpose or accidentally, these are the things that feed anxiety. They don't make it reduce. Connection and support, that's what helps calm anxiety for most of us. So if you're struggling, don't hide. Reach out. There's grace, there's help, there's hope. So maybe you're wondering, is it just stress or is this anxiety? One helpful way is to begin paying attention to the patterns and how they affect your daily life. So ask yourself, am I often keyed up or on edge or unable to relax even when nothing urgent is happening? Do I find it hard to focus because I'm consumed by worry or what if thoughts? Is my sleep disrupted by racing thoughts or fears that I can't shut off? Is anxiety and the processing that's happening in my brain, is it affecting my relationships, my work, my physical health, or even my ability to connect with God? In counseling, we talk a lot about something that we call level of functioning. It's just a fancy term for how we talk about how well you're doing in key areas of your life, like relationships or work or school, your own spiritual connection and practices, self-care. If anxiety is making it harder to show up as yourself in those areas, then it's worth paying attention to. Think about this. It's like spinning your wheels in the mud. If you're using a ton of mental energy, but you're not getting that traction, it's something to think about, especially if you're spending a lot of time thinking about the past or the future, replaying conversations, anticipating worst case scenarios. It's important to ask, is this helpful? Is it productive? Or am I stuck in a loop that's costing me peace without offering any sort of clarity? If you're dealing with anxiety, the good news is this: you do not have to stay stuck, and you don't have to figure it out alone. There are practical tools that can really help. So think of things like deep breathing or journaling or what we would call grounding exercises to calm your body, which in turn helps your mind slow down. Other helpful strategies might include going for a walk. Some people find it helpful to limit caffeine or alter their diet, create consistent sleep routines, or even help setting healthy boundaries with those around you and your time and your commitments. What's really interesting about anxiety is that there's a lot of spiritual practices that really directly affect the mind's tendency to worry and experience fear. Prayer, scripture meditation, thinking about something like Philippians chapter 4, 6 through 8, spending time with trusted, safe people in your community. These are all things that remind us of a deeper truth, that though we feel afraid, we know that something bigger than us is still there. God's character is still true. The people around us are trustworthy and good. So don't underestimate the power of connection in times like this. Whether it's counseling or meeting with a mentor or opening up in your own small group, regularly checking in with a prayer partner, having support makes a huge difference. So as I said before, healing takes courage, but you don't have to do it alone. I want to remind you that at Whitestone Counseling, we're here to walk with you. It's what we do. It's our team here. We integrate faith and professional care to help you navigate whatever you're facing, whether it's everyday stress, lingering anxiety, or something that feels even heavier than that. Counseling isn't about having all the answers. It's about having a secure place to be honest, to gain insight, and to experience that real hope. If you're ready to take this next step, visit whitestoneresources.com or call us at 847-821-9346. We'll help match you with a counselor who's a good fit for your needs, someone who can walk alongside you with compassion, wisdom, and care. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do anxiety alone. Healing is possible. Hope is real. With the right support and God's grace, you can move forward. We're here to help when you're ready.